Hi guys!
Hi
Hi
guys!
teacups! I'm Christina,
And I'm Kenna.
and we're gonna spill the tea for you guys today.
We have a really special guest today, but before we get started, we want to do a couple housekeeping things. Make sure to follow our Instagram. We post a lot of fun games, and we also post who our guest is of the week. So definitely go follow that. We also have a link tree in the bio of the Instagram, which has a lot of important things. Don't know where to point, but yeah, make sure to go follow that. And Christina.
I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about Broadway for Racial Justice. We've set up a GoFundMe to raise money for Broadway for Racial Justice. And if you don't know what Broadway for Racial Justice is, it's an organization that literally exists to make conditions in the theater industry better for BIPOC people. So they have a whole bunch of different resources. They have conferences all the time, and they have amplification program. Kenna was one of their amplified artists, and they have the scholarship fund. And one of my favorite things that they have is they have a 24-hour hotline where you can call and report any racial trauma that you've experienced. And so you can call if you just need to vent and you want to vent, you can vent, or if you want to know how to take the next steps of action, they will tell you. And if you're not a BIPOC person and you're a white ally, they have resources for how to be a better ally and a whole bunch of allyship resources. So definitely donate right there. We have a GoFundMe set up right there. So yeah.
And without further ado, let's welcome our guest.
I'm so excited. Okay, let's go. Hi,
Joey.
Hi.
Every week we like to do an emotional check-in. So, how are you doing today?
I am doing well. I had a massage today, my first massage in over a year, actually. So, and that definitely put me a little bit more in a relaxed state. So that's good. I needed some zen. But it's also Friday, that's good. The weekend is here. So yeah, I'm doing, and also Olivia Rodrigo came out with an album. It's been a cool day. It's been good. And now I'm talking to you.
Yeah. Oh, the Olivia Rodrigo album. We can't even talk about it because we have a whole thing that we're doing. So.
Okay. We'll save that conversation for later.
We will though, but chef's kiss.
Yeah, but I'm doing well. How are you two doing?
I have been a little bit, not like stressed out, but a little bit stressed out because I have exams next week. And I've been working on some stuff for a project that I'm working on, and it's just been a lot going on. And I'm just ready for Wednesday because then I'll officially be out of school and it'll be summer, I guess. So I'm excited for that. And Kenna, how are you feeling, honey?
I'm feeling really good. It's Friday, and there's a lot of stuff that's been happening today. And yeah, it's just a really good day, and I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited for this episode.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, I guess we should jump right into it. Joey, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Sure. Hello, everybody who may be tuning in. I'm Joey Contreras. I am a musical theater and pop songwriter. I am originally from California. I live in New York now, and I'm a big Britney Spears fan and love guacamole. So those are that's me real quickly.
Before we continue, I just have to ask because Britney Spears and Mariah Carey, but Britney Spears, I literally love her so much. So what's your favorite album?
Oh my gosh, I love this. Well, Blackout is of course like an iconic record. And I am also I love all of her records, but I don't actually are you where I'm curious for you because you're a little bit younger than me, just a little. But are you when you think of Britney, what albums do you think of? Because I can think of old school Britney, I can also think of current Britney, and I love all of it, and I grew up with Britney. But for you, what do you think of when you think of Britney?
Well, my mom and I used to watch the movie Crossroads. So that's what got me into Britney. But now I really listen to Baby One More Time, that album, and then Oops, I Did It Again. Those are mostly the albums I listen to. But yeah, I just really like her.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, those are iconic records.
For sure.
So, Glory, her most recent album, still is also iconic. So I don't know if you all
Oh my
know that.
goodness. Well, I have a Britney story
Please.
because I have a Britney story. I don't know if any of you guys know this, but Britney Spears used to go to Park Lane Academy in Mississippi,
Mm.
and her school was my school's rival school. And so they used to have like a Britney Day, and like people would dress up like for the football games. Everybody would dress up as like Britney, and then the teachers who like taught her would like come out and like do like a lip sync battle, and it was iconic. And her name is like on a plaque in their like auditorium. That's my Britney story.
I know we had some words about Mississippi. I might have to go just to take a photo by that plaque.
Oh, for sure, for sure. That's like the best thing. And Jamie Lynn went to why can't I think about it? She didn't go to Park Lane. She went to another school, and she was on the basketball team. And my science teacher was her basketball coach, and he would show like videos of like her highlight reel and stuff. That's my Spears experience.
I've actually met Britney before, and that was a very like life-changing, beautiful, exciting moment. And she's it was sort of almost like meeting like an animated character. Like it didn't feel real because she's just such an iconic figure in like the zeitgeist of like pop culture that she almost doesn't feel like a human being. Which we should all remember that she is a human being. But when I met her, it was like, wow, you like she's first of all, she's so small. She's really short and like tiny. And I just was like, wow, this is so surreal right now. And she was very sweet, very kind. I made her laugh. And I told her her best friend was cute. And
I love that. Love that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I literally love that so much. But I know you mentioned how you write songs and you also like were interested in like musical theater. So what got you interested in songwriting and musical theater?
Yeah, my parents were very musical. They were in a band, and they were still in the band even when my mom was pregnant with me. So I was hearing music like from the very, very beginning. And by 4 years old, I was doing competitive tap dancing. I was doing a lot of community theater. So I was just very much raised in theater. And then at the same time, instead of like my kind of like lullabies, any sort of like music or like kid music that you would normally do, like lullabies or like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I didn't grow up with like singing that. We like sang like Mariah Carey and Paula Abdul and like Michael Jackson and like that kind of Janet Jackson. Those were like the figures of music that I was just raised on. So it was just kind of very much embedded in my DNA like since the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Somebody said Toxic is the best Britney song, and I am going to have to agree with that statement. Okay, but yeah, I know we talked about like your songwriting and what got you into it, but when you write songs, like where do you draw your inspiration from, or who are your inspirations even when you're writing and in your music style?
Yeah, I write very from like my personal experience. So, it is sort of like, writing in a diary or a journal or something. But yeah, so a lot of my like songs come from my own personal expression, my own personal stories. But then when I went to school for musical theater, to college for musical theater, and throughout that process, just my kind of like pop songs, my songs about my life started morphing into this more kind of like theatrical setting as well. And being surrounded by a lot of actors and all my friends are actors and everything, it was kind of a very organic transition of just sort of like my songs starting to take on more of a theatricality, more of an actability. They're more like, theater pieces than just standalone pop songs.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think it's really cool how you morph like pop songs with also musical theater. I really like that. What is your songwriting process like?
It kind of varies. A lot of it these days are writing notes in my phone, little fragments of lyrics that might come into my head, like concept ideas, like images or things or titles. Sometimes we'll just be like, oh, that would make a really cool song, you know, like, and just kind of keeping a catalog of ideas in my phone. And then at the same time, I will literally be walking down the street and then all of a sudden just be like, like just doing stuff like that and singing voice memos in my phone. So a lot of the kind of like brainstorming, generating ideas happens a lot like that. And then there are times when I am writing for a certain specific project that's a little less like me just like living life and writing my life out in music, and more like I'm writing for a specific character for a show, and there's a little bit more craft, a little bit more thought that has to go behind it in a different kind of way. And that's when I'll be at the piano and I'll, you know, be thinking a little bit more about what's kind of fabric I need to be working with, you know?
Yeah, I actually like write songs too. And so I just have like a bunch of just random notes in my notes app of just random stuff. What software do you use when you?
Yeah, I do a lot of my recording stuff on Logic. Do you use Logic?
No, I mostly just use GarageBand, but I'd like to learn more about like.
Yes, yes. I think you should. GarageBand, Logic is basically just an extension of GarageBand, you know. And I think that if you definitely are a songwriter and interested in, you know, continuing to put your ideas in a recorded format, making demos, producing stuff, I strongly encourage Logic. And and if you also just, I'm just gonna tell you and share right now. Like, if you ever have any questions, feel free to like ask me. Just like send me a DM or something.
Oh, that's absolutely precious. I don't use like software because I try to use GarageBand like and I could not figure it out. So I just, you know, jam with my ukulele, and me and Susan, we figured it out together.
Yeah, I want to know more about you too. Like, what is your musical background? How did you get started? Like, how did all this get started? And tell me more a little bit about you both.
Okay. I'll start with like telling you about me, and then I guess Kenna can tell you about her, and then I guess we can both tell you how we met and started this. This is so weird getting asked questions. Okay. So when I was a little child, I was always into singing, and I was put in dance classes like when I was like 2 years old. I was like one of those little kids, and I still can't dance, but I was put in dance classes when I was 2, and I was like singing at church and doing like community theater and plays. And then, but it wasn't really serious for me at that point. It was just like, oh, this is fun, so I'm going to do this. And then I think I told you a little bit about Mississippi, but I'll go a little bit more into it. So when I started being like 6 was the age that everybody realized I was a bit different from them. And it was kind of like being a little bit of like ostracism, plus like me having to put on a character every day to try and like fit in or try and be like, I just wanted to be like everybody else so badly. And it was like a lot of racism and a lot of like negative things being said to me and about me, like even like teachers. And like, keep in mind, I'm only like in kindergarten, and people are already understanding or being taught racism. And so like people's parents are like saying I can't come to their house and like things like that. And like it just became a whole situation. And then it eased into the situation of you're the black poster kid. And then it was that. And then I was just having all these feelings, and it was just like, I could never be myself, or I didn't know who I was, or, well, that's my dog, or know what I wanted to do, or never felt like I could express it. And so there was a point where a shift happened where musical theater started being my escapism. And performing in plays was like, oh, I don't have to be myself today. I can be this person, or I can be that person, or I can sing, and nobody's going to be focused on the fact that I look different from them. They're going to be focused on the fact that I can perform. And so that was when it became kind of a serious thing for me. And then when I moved here to Atlanta, it was like, okay, you're fine, you're accepted, everybody's like you, or if they're not like you, their best friend is like you, like you're fine. And then it became a point of channeling all of the past experience and all of the present and everything that I just wanted to feel. It became about like being in the moment and just expressing the purest form of emotion and self, and it not being a problem, and I can push that into my art and make it be. And that's kind of my story.
Well, that feels very liberating. You're in a place of like liberation from that area that you did not need to be in that place. I'm sorry that you had to go through that though, but it's
also like a kind of like a screw you. Like,
sure, absolutely, yeah.
And I got my start in musical theater. I've always been interested in like music. Like my grandfather, I've written songs with him since like 5 years old, just random stuff. So I've always been interested in music. But then in 4th grade, my teacher introduced me to Todrick Hall, and I just loved him. I would go to his concerts with my mom, and then he said that he was gonna go on Broadway on Kinky Boots, and I don't know, I was just like, I have to go see Todrick in Kinky Boots. And then once I saw him on that stage, I knew that that's what I wanted to do. And ever since then, I've been just working hard, and I don't know, I just want to go on Broadway and be on that stage.
Love it. Yeah, that's so exciting. Well, I'm so happy that you also were able to, find like, just, I don't know, just that finding like inspiration like that is such a beautiful thing. And so cool. Now I know a little bit more about you both.
So yeah, and how the show started was, I'll let Kenna start, because I guess I'll have to start, and then Kenna can take it from there. So I was working with another company, and we were holding a Black History Month Q&A with some Broadway performers. And I was like, and the other people who ran the company, I was the only BIPOC person. So they're like, we were talking about it, and I was like, I think that we should have other BIPOC people involved in this. And then I don't remember exactly how Kid and I started talking, but I saw her, she like came, I suggested or something, and then I followed her, and then we had some conversation about like hair, and then that was like our first introduction to like meeting each other. And I was like, oh, I know the perfect person for this, like let me see if Kenna's interested. And then she was, and that was how we started being friends. And then I guess you can tell your half of that story.
Oh, and then after that, we just kept talking, and we had this, I think it was like a live stream on Instagram where we talked about Disney and just our opinions. And then after that, we realized that we wanted to have a talk show where we talked about musical theater, and we talked to just different people about the industry and just everything about it. And that's kind of how this all started. And yeah,
it was really like a jump both in, jump in, jump both in, jump in with both feet kind of moment. Like we were just talking about it one day, and then the next day it was like, okay, we're making an Instagram account, okay, we're doing this. And it was just great. And I'm so grateful that Kenna and Sydney, our creative director, who is behind the scenes, and you can't see her, but I know she's here right now, and I know she hears this. But it was so wonderful that like everybody was just on this page of like, we're gonna make this happen, and we just jumped in and did it, and now you're here. And
I'm here. Oh my gosh, it happened. No, I think, but honestly, like that's such a good takeaway too. Is just like sometimes you just literally like you don't necessarily need to know exactly how you're going to do it. You just need to take the step and do it. Be really fearless about it. And I think that like so congrats. How long have you been? Sorry, and I know I'm asking all the questions right now. How long have you been doing this program?
Our first episode was I have a calendar, and I think
we started in April.
Yeah, well, our first like the Instagram live thing started in February, and then our first episode like on like actually streaming was the first Friday in May. Our very first episode was February 26th. That was when it all officially started.
Yeah.
We're still in the first season.
Hmm?
We're like still in the first season. Yeah.
Yeah, we're still in the first season. You're blessed.
I got you on the ground level.
Oh, for sure. Yep. And then we're gonna like have you back for a reunion episode in like 10 years, and we're just gonna rehash.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Okay. I guess it's time for us to ask you some more questions because we're getting interviewed. I don't know if you have one, but if you do, or if you don't and you have a few, I don't know. But what's your favorite song that you've written?
My favorite song. Oh gosh. Okay, so I do get asked this a lot, and I feel kind of like I'm such. I don't like. I don't know. I keep it real with myself, and like I don't like have any real ego or anything. But I do like a lot of my songs, so it's kind of like I don't know. It's sort of a hard question for me sometimes. I know what I'm like. I know that I'm proud of a lot of my music, and I. I'm proud of the way that the certain songs have connected with people. I think that's sort of like the thing that has been such a surprise to me over the course of my career is like the interaction and like sharing of stories that I've had with just random people that listen to my music. You know, Love Me Not is, you know, one of my most special songs, mainly because that's the one that a lot of people know me for. I just came out with a new album called In Pieces. That's was a highlights record of featuring music from my show In Pieces. And there's a song called Sing in the Same Line on there that I am obsessed with right now. I also really love my song With Him, which is just kind of a song that I'm really proud of that I wrote a while ago. And it's such a song that I like feel like I wouldn't necessarily write now in this part of my life. So it's interesting sometimes to kind of listen to songs that I wrote 10 years ago and just see like, oh wow, that song was such a gift, and I'm so proud of that song. And I also don't know what I was channeling. The inspiration was flowing in a very specific, magical way that day. That was just sort of like a time capsule kind of moment.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about your music is how relatable it is, because I don't think there's a single song of yours that I've listened to that I haven't felt like, oh, like I know this story. Or this is maybe not be my story, but this is somebody else's that I know. And like, it's just so relatable. And it's like, you have like the pop vibes and then like the musical theater vibes, which is such an amazing thing because, like, I feel like everybody's gone through that point where they just keep listening to cast recordings and then they go back to, I guess, like the mainstream world. And then you listen to like your pop music and then you can't decide. But with you, I get the best of both worlds. I was about to start doing but yeah.
It's like a Hannah Montana moment right there.
Yes. Literally love her.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of In Pieces, like the musical, what was it like writing a musical?
Each musical is beautiful and wonderful, but also it's big. It's a beast. It's a hard thing to do. In Pieces, what's special and very personal about In Pieces is that it is a song cycle that features music from from my albums and a couple new songs as well. So there's songs that have been with me for the last 13 years of my life, which is kind of crazy to say. And with that, it feels very, I think, very writing through real emotions and raw emotions because they were written at the exact time that I was in my life. So it kind of focuses on like your your 20s, your coming of age years. And it's just very authentically written because I was in my 20s writing these songs. And so as these characters kind of reflect back on their lives from their 20s to their 30s, essentially, I feel like it's just a really special thing for me because there are my personal stories, but it's also, like we mentioned earlier, very relatable to other people and their feelings that I think you can feel when you're younger, and their feelings that you can feel when you're much older as you're looking back on it. So there is that component. On the other side of things, when working on shows that are a little bit more book musicals, that are a little more like, there's actually like a libretto, and there's, dialogue, and there's characters that you need to get from point A to point B to point Z, all of that. That can just really be a big puzzle. And sometimes as much theater as you've seen, and you may think, oh, I know, I've seen so many shows, it can't be that hard. When you're staring at that blank page, suddenly it's like all structure leaves your mind. It's like, wow, because there are, for the most part in musical theater, there are structural components to writing a musical. The 3-act kind of structure, where things are supposed to go and all of that. But sometimes it's a little over. I don't know if you can hear that motorcycle. It's a little sometimes overwhelming when you're staring at the blank page. So you kind of have to break it into sections and try to really just like organize your thoughts, especially depending on what kind of story you're telling.
Oh my goodness, content dictates form. Content dictates form.
Exactly, 100%. Yes.
I
think I've heard that. I know I've heard that before.
But it was Sondheim. I want to say it was Sondheim.
It's in Sondheim's book. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. I know that with In Pieces, there's a film. Yes. Can we talk about the film? And isn't it streamable until May 28th, right?
It is. You've done your research.
Stream In Pieces. Stream In Pieces. If you don't have a pop-up for it, put the pop-up.
Yes. Yes, that's been kind of wild. So we released the rights to In Pieces so that any schools, any universities, any regional theaters, community theaters can put on their own production of In Pieces. And that was something we came out with right in December of 2020. And then this production company in London reached out to us and was like, we really want to put on a filmed version of this show. And it became so much bigger than I was originally expecting it to be, in the most beautiful way. I mean, they got West End stars to like be a part of this very uniquely filmed film. And it's like a blend between live theater and cinema. So you still see the mics because they're singing live, but it's not like it's not like a pro shot. There's not like a proscenium stage and they're just filming it like that. It's very immersive. It's filmed in this like really unique, like mini city-esque backlot kind of set. It's really well done. And I'm excited because we got some cool things coming where we might be readapting that version back to the stage soon. So
that's the tea.
Yeah, that's the tea.
To that. So
that is the tea.
Do we all rock the pink mug? Is that what we're doing right now?
Yes, you are so on theme. I love it. What tea do you have?
I have a sensible sugar-free Red Bull tea.
I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. I have throat coat, and I'm pretty sure Kenna has throat coat too.
Yeah.
I need my like second dose of caffeine in a much more intense form. So.
For sure. Oh my goodness. I saw the trailer for In Pieces and I was just in love. I was seeing like all the pride banners and everywhere and the dancing, and it was just like a flash mob, and I was like,
yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, like, and they filmed it in 3 days.
Oh wow.
3 days. So an entire like 80-minute film in 3 days. So it's pretty incredible what they did. And yeah, it's on its encore on demand run because it ran earlier last month, and then the kids wanted it again. So here we
I
are.
have to watch it. I have to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to watch it too. We're obligated.
Yes.
I'm obligating you.
There was a comment that what my mom wrote it, but it was like, I know it was like, I know what I'm doing this weekend, and that's yes. But with the album, like, how did you choose who you wanted to sing each song?
I'm very grateful that there are a lot of incredible performers out there that are willing to share their time and talent with me. And it's kind of been that way since the beginning. One of my best friends is Natalie Weiss, and she is, really big on the contemporary musical theater scene. And so once I started kind of like, working with her, it sort of, I think, in addition to, I think, my music speaking for itself, kind of opened a lot of doors to access to other people that would be willing to sing my music. And so I still, I still will do like cold outreaches sometimes to people, even if I don't know them. I'll be like, I really want to work with you. And sometimes sometimes, so like on this most recent record, I knew everybody personally except David Archuleta. I didn't know David Archuleta. I know, King. And so that was really exciting, was working with him. But for the most part, I knew everybody else. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty lucky to be like, because there are just so many incredible singers, especially on this In Pieces record, that are just like so wonderful. Do you have a favorite song on the In Pieces album?
Oh my goodness. Okay, me and Kenna were just talking about this. Like, we were just talking about this. Me and Mr. Popularity, but as well as In Pieces. Like, the song In Pieces, love both of them. Me and Mr. Popularity, because it's hilarious. Like, absolutely hilarious. There was this, like, YouTube short called, like, Emo Dad or something, and that was, like, the first thing that, like, popped in my mind when he was, like, talking about his dad. And I don't know. Love the Mr. Popularity. Absolutely hilarious. And then I love In Pieces. Like, I just love it, like, so much. It's like, I just listen to it, and then, like, the angels are just up there, and they're just singing it too, and it's
a very celestial moment.
Yes, very.
Yeah, I also loved Another New York Love Story. I don't know. I don't know. I just, like, when I listened to it, it was just, like, speaking to me. I don't know. It was, like, the melody. I really like that one.
Oh, that makes me happy.
We're your biggest fans, Joey. We're your biggest fans.
Yes.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm curious, like, how did you first find out about my music? Who introduced you, or how did that happen?
Okay, I'll take this one. So, I think we all know that, like, Love Me or Love Me Not was, like, huge. And it just popped up in my YouTube suggestions. It just popped up in my YouTube suggestions. And I just went down the rabbit hole, and it's like, that's exactly, like, I can't even try and act like there was a big moment. It was like, I was like, YouTube suggestions, and then it was like, oh, I really like this. And it was like, okay, go through. Okay, listen to everything. Okay, listen to it again, and then listen to it again. And then when you're sad, listen to it 3 more times. That's what happened with me.
YouTube did me good. Targeted ad worked in my favor this time.
Yeah, and for me, it was just, like, pretty much a friend just recommended me to listen. Actually, no, I was on Spotify, and someone I knew was listening to it, and I was like, oh, I want to listen to that too. And I listened to it, and I was like, oh, I really like this. And then I just found your Instagram, followed it, and then been obsessed ever since.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, we love it. Oh my goodness. Okay, I want to talk about your solo EP that you sing on yourself.
Hey.
Because I know a lot of your stuff is like sung by other people. And I was like, okay, Joey's singing himself. Joey's going off. What made you decide to sing these songs as opposed to like the others? Like, what was the whole?
Yeah, I think a lot of songwriters go through this experience, especially ones that you know, are singers. I grew up, you know, being a singer, and then over time, I started to take a little bit more of a backseat role in like the actual like delivery of these songs that I was writing, and like I said earlier, I'm so grateful to be able to work with such incredible talent that can bring my music to life in ways that like I just vocally cannot. But there are moments when I, you know, have a couple songs that are, you know, songs that are just very personal or just feel very much a part of me, and I kind of want to be the person that delivers them and is the vessel of them. So for a while in between, I had an album called Young Kind of Love that came out in 2014. And I just had started kind of feeling that itch of wanting to be the face of my music a little bit more. And so I started, like, it took a couple years. I just was writing a lot of songs. I was like, you know, starting to do a lot more concerts where I was singing a lot more in my concerts, kind of trying out material. And then finally that all kind of culminated into the Joyride EP that came out in 2019. And it was a very special project for me because it felt like you know, yes, I got to live a little bit more of my like singer, songwriter, pop star fantasy, I guess. But I also, you know, got to just kind of reconnect with a part of me that I hadn't really tapped into in a while. That is the, you know, the singer and the performer as well as the songwriter.
Oh.
Well, speaking of writing songs, what was it like writing a song for Disney?
That was really cool. I mean, Disney is, you know, Disney's iconic. And I think every writer wants to, you know, work with Disney. So it was really cool. It was interesting, just kind of like Disney has like their own language internally. And so kind of just learning like how the way that they operate and just kind of like give their notes, their feedback, and all of that kind of back and forth exchange was cool to just experience and be a part of that interaction. And I am always ready to write for Disney again. I think it would be such a dream to write for like a full-on Disney film. You know, that would be so. Not only would I nail it, I mean, I think I would nail it.
For sure. I want you to write a decom, like for a decom.
Oh, I would nail that too. I mean, I'm ready to write for like the next Hannah Montana type show. Like,
please.
Disney, I know that the government is watching this stream right now. Yes. Go reach out to Disney and tell them, Joey, right here, he's here. Do it, make it happen.
I'm ready for it. So we're putting that into the world.
Oh, for sure. It's on the internet. It'll be here forever, so they'll find it eventually.
Yeah, I now like I need you to write for like a Disney film, a decom. Please. Just I think that's what the world needs right now.
We do. We need it. We need it bad. Oh my goodness. Yes.
I'm gonna need to like think of like what kind of story it can be. Like who I just want to know like everything about it. Like, is it like a person that is like a singer, like a pop star kind of storyline, or is it an animated thing? You know, I don't know. We'll have to figure
I think it's definitely a live action film. And I'm getting coming of age nostalgia A24 vibes.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's getting, all right.
But like A24, but like Disney.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Ooh. I mean, I mean, I feel like at this point, Olivia Rodrigo would write the music for anything that she does.
She would.
But if she were the like lead,
oh, she'd be the lead.
I
Yes.
would be not mad at that, you know?
Please. Olivia she's there.
Yeah.
Yes, we love her.
We love her. We talk about her all too often. I think every time we get a break in the show, we always circle back to High School Musical, the musical, the series. So if you're watching this, Teacups, we're planning an event. We're planning a High School Musical, the musical, the series, tea time, where you're going to get all of that we normally do.
And you know that Andrew Barth Feldman, who sings in the new season, which I'm very excited about.
I've been waiting. So I watched, we're talking about it, but we have to. Okay. We can't help it. It's like, if you watch past episodes, you'll see that I think High School Musical, the musical, the series gets referenced in every episode that we've ever done.
Yes.
But Brittany, though, that's the same thing with me, Brittany.
Yes.
You see how within the first 3 minutes, I was able to bring Brittany into the conversation?
Yes.
I mean,
you got the Brittany
you
stories
should,
and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. Oh my goodness. I think that we should do something that we've never done before because you're a great guest. And I think that we should do the tea with Joey. Now, I know what normally tends to happen is that after we get done interviewing our guests, we will talk about some Broadway / musical theater tea.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we should do it while you're here.
Okay.
Because I just want to see what you have to say.
All right.
I'm
here to see the tea. That's what the name of the program is. So.
And I think, Kenna, I don't know if you agree, but I think we should talk about the new Cinderella movie. What do you think? Okay.
I literally just found out about this. So.
Yeah, we were talking about this. Okay, what are your opinions on the new Cinderella movie? First off, like Billy Porter is playing the fairy godmother. So
yeah, he is. Yeah.
So like that itself. But I'm pretty sure Idina Menzel is playing the stepmother, the evil stepmother. But what do you think about Camila Cabello playing Cinderella?
I think, oh goodness, I love Camila Cabello. I think that I think this would have been better if it came out 2 years ago when she was having her Havana High. And so I don't know what like this really is. There's something there's something I think about her that is a little polarizing for people, which I'm guessing off of this reaction with you two that you feel on the other side of that. Is that kind of how you feel?
Kinda. I'll let Kenna go first.
I don't know. I honestly did not know. Like, I knew Billy Porter was gonna play the fairy godmother, but I didn't know who was gonna play Cinderella. I think there's a lot of Cinderella movies out there, so I feel like to have another one, yes,
Brittany should have been Cinderella.
Brittany should have been Cinderella. She even has. Okay, wait, hold up.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, okay. I think Brittany should play Cinderella.
Well, Brittany should have been everything, but I think also it's another thing where it's like, I know that we're going to always be doing these reboots and these different kind of introductions. Yes. I know that we're going to do that. However, it's just really hard when you had Brandy and Whitney.
Thank you. Okay, now I'm going to...
You know, it's just really hard when you've had Brandy and Whitney. How could you ever meet anything ever again?
Yes, I'm going to segue right here because my Cinderella, the Cinderella that I grew up on, was the Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella with Brandy and Whitney Houston. And so no Cinderella will ever compare. But this is my issue. This is my issue because there always has to be somebody who has an issue, right? My issue is one, if they were going to start with like the Broadway kind of cast, and I know that both of them, Idina Menzel and Billy Porter, have been in TV and film, but you still got the Broadway community all hyped up, and then you tell us that our Cinderella is Camila Cabello. And it was like you said, if this was 2 years ago, I would have been like, I still would have been annoyed that there was another Cinderella movie coming out because it's just so overdone. I think there's probably like there's probably like 1,000 Cinderella movies or versions or reinventions or something. It's just so overdone, and I'm ready for new stories and fresh everything. So that, I mean, Billy Porter being the fairy godmother is fresh. I will say that. I am so excited for that. Representation. Oh, yeah. Period. But I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. And maybe she'll change my mind, but
yeah, I think it's honestly going to come down to the script and the acting too, and the music. Like, if it's going to feel, you know, if the quality is there. Because if the quality isn't there, then, you know, the quality can save it or the quality can really ruin it.
Right. I mean, I don't think anything Billy Porter's in is going to be just terrible. I think he'll save the whole show if it's bad. But
I'm sure some iconic moments for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
And so, yeah.
Yeah. And then, okay. We have a few different articles of tea, but I'm going to let you choose because I don't know what you're more interested in, but we can either talk about MJ the musical for Michael Jackson, the musical, which is interesting, or we can talk about Respect, the Aretha Franklin movie.
Okay. Well, first of all, is that your mom, Kenna?
Yeah, that's my mom.
Hi, Kenna's mom. Thank you. I was thinking it too. Yes, I would love to write the music for Cinderella. If they're gonna do it again and again and again, sure, hire me. I haven't seen the trailer for Respect. I need to see it.
Okay.
I saw the teaser and I'm obsessed with Jennifer Hudson.
Yeah. Okay. Respect. It's just gonna be phenomenal. Mary J. Blige is in it. Audra McDonald is in it. Queen Latifah is in it. Like
all of that
is in it. Everybody is in this movie.
Okay. Well then.
And I am so excited for this movie. I know that there was a bit of issues with the Cynthia Erivo Genius, which I was excited for that too. I never saw it, but I know that there was a bit of controversy with the Aretha Franklin family, and that I think it was actually a limited series done by National Geographic, I want to say, but the family wanted Jennifer Hudson to play Aretha, and they did not want Cynthia Erivo to play it, even though Cynthia Erivo is incredible. But any thoughts? Like, what do you think we're going to get out of this movie?
I think that
what are you excited for?
That cast is unbelievable. Like I stan all of those people. So like, and I think Jennifer Hudson is, again, it's going to come back down to script again for me. Like if the script is really bad, keeping it real, Jennifer Hudson is such a powerhouse, but a bad script will get in her way. So I don't know if she will be able to like save a bad script, but I'm excited to see her in it because I'm obsessed with her. I didn't know Queen Latifah was in it. I didn't know Mary J. Blige was in it. Mary J. Blige is like, I love Mary J. Blige. And who else did you say?
Audra McDonald.
Audra McDonald, I mean, Queen.
Yes.
So, yeah. I mean, that's
there's so many more. That's just like the highlights, not Cat.
Audra's also one of my on my dream list of working with. Like if that would be a dream come true if I work with Audra.
It's gonna happen.
Wait, who's on like your dream, like who would be like maybe like your top 5 people that you would love to work with?
Yeah, top 5. I just said this recently. Emmy Raver Lampman, who was in Wicked and Hamilton. She's unbelievable. I want to work with Kelly Clarkson. I want to work with Carly Rae Jepsen, actually.
Ooh, I saw her in concert once.
You did?
Yes, it was like in first grade. But
I love that. I had a whole phase I had a whole phase.
Queen. I want to work with Shawn Mendes, not only because, well, he's like one of my crushes, but but he's also really, I just feel like I could write some really great music with him, for him. And there's many people. I'm probably blanking on like 900 people. I mean, I would love to work with Ariana Grande. I'd love to work with Gaga. I'd love to work with Rodrigo. I'd like to work with a lot of pop people. Clearly, yeah.
I love that.
I love that too.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's just like, I'm envisioning it and I'm hearing it and
I need like a Joey and Ariana collab. Like,
I need a Joey.
I need it.
I want the collab to have like musical theater pieces as well as pop pieces though.
Well, that's like my dream too. It's like, I was like, it would be really awesome if I could do like, kind of like what they do with Hamilton, or even, like what they did with Hamilton, and like what they did with The Greatest Showman too. Woo! In New York, there was a fire truck going. My gosh, it's so noisy over here. Yeah, so like I was like, if I had like Kelly Clarkson singing the same line, and had, like Shawn Mendes doing Love Me, Love Me Not, like that would be like insane, that kind of stuff.
The In Pieces mixtape, it needs to happen.
Ariana on, I have a song called First Sign of Forever that she would play on, like.
Oh, I'm actually living for it, and
yeah,
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Putting that out there right now. Wow. Oh my goodness. What do you want to, like, what do you want from like the rest of your career? Like, what do you want from the future, and where do you want to take your artistry? Like, how do you?
That's a great question. I'm still hustling. You know what I mean? Like, I still have so much to do and accomplish, and I have a lot of drive in me, and I have still have a lot of things that I want to make and create and put out there in the world. I want to just continue also like giving everybody, good music to underscore and be a part of their lives, because music for me has been my everything. And so to be able to do that and be given the opportunity to like make a living doing that is really just, the dream.
That's really sweet. I don't know, I love your music, and I think it is so relatable, and I just think it's amazing. Fabulous.
It is fabulous. It's so fabulous. Like, I would definitely say, like, I know you were awarded something by Playbill, like one of the best, like, underrated. Oh my goodness, I'm slipping. I don't know the name of this.
No, it's not. I mean, no, I know what you're referring to though. Yeah.
Yes, you are so incredible, and I just wish more people, like, I wish everybody just like, I hope you pop up in everybody's YouTube suggestions, because everybody like, it's like such a, Joey is amazing. That is one of the things. Yes, like you just, it's something that's so personal and also so like authentic and real, and it's like I said, it's like everybody's story. Because like some songs, like it's really cool. I love listening to your nostalgia, but that's not my nostalgia. And I am like, I have not rode around in the drop top doing whatever it is. And it's super fun to bop to, but it's not, I don't know, personal. And
yeah, I think that's ultimately what I have to offer, is kind of like just my authentic self, and I'm just hoping that is going to be the thing that continues to resonate with people, and also gives me the opportunity, like you said, like I'm grateful that like a YouTube algorithm is how this connection was made, and that like with Spotify, like those things are really cool. It's amazing that can happen, and then it's just, continuing to find those platforms to just reach more people and reach more ears and reach more hearts. And, and Disney is the way to get there. So Disney, let's go.
Disney, call him right now. He's here.
Yeah.
Well, we've come to the end of our time, but thank you so much for being on our show. You provided a lot of insight, and this is a really fun show.
This was a really fun show. It was just great. It just was like having a conversation with you, and it wasn't all, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean that's because I know I had a really good time, so I'm glad that you reached out and everything. And I'm excited to continue to watch y'all spill the tea on other things as well. And we'll have to check in when Cinderella comes out.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Do you have any like social media or anything you want to plug in the last few minutes that we're here?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Joey Contreras. Yep. And also, if you want to follow the In Pieces musical Instagram account, that's also In Pieces musical, also on Twitter, and also on TikTok at Joey Contreras and at In Pieces musical. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Bye,
Thank
Joey.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. This was a great episode. I had so much fun. Before we go, once again, Broadway for Racial Justice. Oh, it isn't there. Anyway, Broadway for Racial Justice. Definitely donate to Broadway for Racial Justice. They do amazing work, incredible work, and they just make, there we go. They just make the theater industry a better place and a safer place and a more equitable and fair place. So donate to Broadway for Racial Justice and follow us on social media.
Yeah. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.